Thanks for staying with us on The Real Story. 2023 is the year of municipal elections. Soon enough, you'll be voting again, electing new mayors and first selectmen across Connecticut. Here in the capital city, it's a crowded race. 6 candidates have declared they are running for the role after current Mayor Luke Bronin announced that he would not run again. We've been speaking to these candidates about their visions for Connecticut's capital city. And today, Arunan Arulampalam joins us. Arunan, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Jen. I appreciate it.
Okay, so first of all, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a husband, I'm a dad. I live in a neighborhood in Hartford, actually not far from here. And I started off my career as a lawyer. I worked at a firm downtown, went into the Lamont administration as deputy commissioner for the Department of Consumer Protection. Got to help manage an agency staff of over 200, over $50 million in revenue, and work on issues that were near and dear to my heart. But left there to go head up the Hartford Land Bank, where we work to redevelop properties. We've been training Hartford residents to redevelop those properties, build wealth for themselves, create home ownership in a city with the lowest home ownership rate in the state. And it's made impacts on neighborhoods just like mine all around the city.
Now, you're the CEO of the Hartford Land Bank, and I was reading, obviously, this is a passion for you as well.
Yeah.
You know, where do you think revitalizing neighborhoods fits in your plan if you were mayor? Like, how important is it?
It's a huge thing to me. You know, we've had some real growth downtown, which has been so important to bring momentum into the city and investment in the city. And I think the next stage is to continue that growth, but to really invest in commercial corridors in our neighborhoods. I live right off of Park Street. You know, spend a lot of time on Albany Ave and Upper Main Street, and these old commercial corridors that once had a thriving small business community. And that's a real opportunity for growth if we can find the dollars and the real intentionality to invest in small business corridors in our neighborhoods, and then build the housing and home ownership to fill it in. You know, my neighborhood has a 7% home ownership rate, which means that over 90% of the residents are paying dollars out the door, the hard-earned dollars, and never able to build the kind of wealth that allows for a middle class in cities like Hartford. And so creating that investment, and one of the things I'd like to do as mayor is to build a capital fund that allows Hartford residents to buy a home or start a business, because I think investing in our residents and creating the opportunities to build wealth, sustainable wealth, is the way forward in this city.
Why do you want to be mayor?
I love this city. I'm really passionate about it. I believe deeply in the future of the city. I think it's also a really important time in our city. I think we're at the precipice, and this is when we decide whether we're going to continue the growth and progress we've seen, and whether we're going to build a city in which all people can feel that opportunity, all people can feel that progress. And I think it takes the right kind of leadership. It takes a leader who's got the experience to be able to run the city, but also somebody who's got a vision for the future of the city, and somebody who loves the city enough to bring us together, to unite the city. And you know, we can't afford to go backwards and build on the politics of fear and division. We've got to bring all people to the table. We've got to invest in every neighborhood, but also in all of our residents, and be able to unify the city to move forward. We got to reestablish a belief in the future of Hartford.
Where do you see Hartford? What is the future of Hartford?
Well, look, I think that there is a lot of innovative stuff going on with Hartford Healthcare, some of the investment in InsurTech, and there's innovation downtown, but there's also so much opportunity for growth and entrepreneurship if we lean on the residents who already live in the city. We have such an interesting art scene that I think doesn't come to the surface because there's not enough space for it to flourish. We've got so many college students in the city. If you add up UConn downtown and Trinity and UHeart's campus, we've got a lot of college students, and we've got to create spaces for them to grow and thrive and to stay in this city. And then we've got a large population that's got all of the potential in the world in our neighborhoods, who grow up here and grow up in poor neighborhoods without opportunities to really build ownership, to really build wealth. And if we can invest in that, that's in many ways our greatest asset as a city, is our people. And if we can invest in that, then I think we can build something really unique and something new here in Hartford.
This is really interesting about you. I mean, you're a father of 5 and a husband, and we were just talking about this before the segment started, but you have 3 of your children are adopted, 2 are biological. But tell me about that experience.
Yeah, well, they're great kids. We love all of them. We started off, my wife and I really wanted to adopt when it was something that drew us together, and so we started off in international adoption because of some intergovernmental issues issues. That took a while. It stalled. And so we listed with DCF here, and we weren't sure. We were following, we were fostering this child, and we weren't sure if he was going to end up with us. And so around that time, it seemed like neither of those children would end up with us. And we got pregnant. My wife had twins.
Oh
6 months after that, our oldest came home from the Congo. And so in 6 months, we went from having 1 to having 4 kids. I was working crazy hours at downtown. We were stretched to the limit. So we had 4 kids, and we thought that was good for us, and we were growing as a family. And then during COVID, we were both home. Our kids had gotten a little older. Our oldest now is 9. And so we were both at home. We thought we had a little more bandwidth. I was at the state then. I was talking to the deputies at DCF, and they had a pipeline of kids, and so we reopened our foster license. We've fostered a little boy who we thought would be a short-term placement for 3 months, and then 6 months, and now we're a family of 5, and he's got 4 doting siblings who spoil him all the time.
I'm told that your slogan is that Hartford is going to be, the future for your kids.
Yeah.
I might have said that wrong. But, talk about education in this city. I mean, you have your kids here, obviously, so that's important to you.
Yeah, look, I have kids in the city. Our 4 kids who are of school age all go to a public school in this city. And so, and I think it's in almost all of our lifetimes here in the city, we haven't had a mayor who's had kids in public schools in Hartford. And so I've got real literal skin in the game. I've got a lot of friends who are teachers in Hartford Public Schools and work in school buildings. I think that I see, because I'm a parent, I see the city through the eyes of my kids very often. And it's so clear that right now, coming out of COVID, our kids are hurting maybe now more than ever before. And real investment in our schools and attention to our schools, I think, is necessary. But also building safe spaces for our kids. Finding sports and rec programs in our neighborhoods is way too hard in the city. Getting real music and arts education in the city is way too hard. Meeting kids where they are, kids who have faced real trauma, kids who may need mental health support, is really hard. And if we want to build the kind of thriving city we can be, we've got to create opportunities for everybody. We talk about a second chance society, but too often in Hartford, kids don't get first chances. And we've got to create that investment so that everybody in this city, every kid growing up in this city has the same opportunities that my kids have.
We only have about a minute left, but we need to cover crime, obviously.
Sure.
It's been an issue in Hartford for years, but obviously pandemic, we know, has exacerbated it in a lot of ways. What needs to be done, do you think? And that's a broad question, but when you're looking at it, what would be a priority?
Well, it's something that I feel really personally. We in our neighborhood, we had just this last summer 2 shootings less than a block from where I'm raising my 5 kids. And so I understand at a very visceral level the need for Hartford families to feel safe. We've got to focus on, it's a small group of folks who are committing these crimes. We know that, and we've got to focus on identifying them and being able to intervene early. But I would say 2 things. Number one, with returning citizens, folks coming out of prison, we've got a short period of time to really create options for them. And we haven't built a second chance society if we haven't given them an option to be productive. And so we need real intentional focus on job training and employment for everybody coming out of our prisons. And what I would like to do is create an apprenticeship school in Hartford that could be a hub for all of the large-scale development that goes on in the city, but that brings folks who go through our school system and might not go on to a 4-year college, but also folks returning into our society an option to succeed. And the other thing is to create safe spaces for our kids so they never walk down that path. And I'd like to keep our neighborhood schools open at night to give parents who are working multiple jobs the peace of mind of knowing their kids are somewhere safe, but also give kids just a place where they can be kids again in the city. Give them a safe space to be that's an alternative to our streets.
All right, Arunan Arulampalam, candidate for Hartford Mayor, CEO of Hartford Land Bank, and a husband and a father of 5. Thank you very much for coming on The Real Story and keep us updated.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on The Real Story. Before you fill out your ballots, though, Real Story always covers Connecticut's candidates for you. The Hartford mayoral race, we have sat down with several of those candidates already, and we've delved into their platform. So if you want to watch those segments again or any of our past interviews, you can head to fox61.com, download the Fox 61 app, or watch The Real Story streaming on Fox 61 Plus. And of course, you can watch The Real Story every Sunday live at 10 a.m. right here on Fox 61. Have a great morning.